Hi, and welcome to Comic Book Gallery. I'm your host, Joaquin. Today I thought I would take you down a quest of mine, a personal quest, where my goal is to collect Uncanny X Men from 100 to 200. And the first book I want to show you that I have in my collection, so it's from 141 to 149. Now I am going to get this as high as value that I can afford, so I'm hoping to get at a bare minimum a 9.0 to a 9.6. But for right now, this is a book I picked up maybe about 10, 15 years ago, and I haven't replaced it yet because I've had other things on my mind or other priorities or finances, or I stopped collecting. But whatever the reason, this is the grade that I have at the moment. So Uncanny X Men 141 is the first appearance of Marvel Girl and Rachel Summers, and this is the Days of Future Past. Also, first appearance of Destiny, Avalanche, Pyro, and first appearance and death of Franklin Richards and Magneto on Earth 811. So as you can see, this copy is just tore up. I mean, if I were to, I would not send this in to get CGC graded because I could get a better copy, and I will get a better copy down the road. But just to show you, this has been through so much. Poor baby. All kinds of stress marks up and down. You can see. There, that's better. So you see all those stress marks. They break the color, but still a great reader copy. For at the time I paid like 15, maybe 20 bucks at the most. I want to say it was at least under 20. I remember being happy with the price I paid for this because of the condition. Next up is the conclusion, X-Men 142. Let me see if I can get this better. All right, now I'll show you without the glare. So Uncanny X Men 142, Days of Future Past Part 2, is the death of the alternate Wolverine and Storm. And this is the first mention of of Mystique being Nightcrawler's mom, and then it's confirmed later on, but this is the first time it's mentioned. So this is a nice cover, but it has these little holes in here. And when I opened up the book, it had a whole bunch of holes through there. So I don't know if somebody just pegged this book to a wall and was part of their collection at one point. So I want to say I paid maybe 25 bucks for this, maybe as high as 30. And it really was because of the condition, because like I said, there are holes that go all the way through here. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to show you. But other than that, that's a pretty good looking book. And if you didn't know about the holes on the inside, nice cover on the back, nice color. Still off white, but here's where I'm talking about. See all those holes? So I don't know how this happened, or yeah, I can't explain why somebody would want to, like 4 or 5 pinholes in it. I don't understand why you would do that to a book. And then it's weird because it stops. I don't think it goes all the way through the book. I'm trying to get to where you can see this. There, that's better. Sorry about all that not being focused. But it stops around 26 to 27. So I don't know if this is a manufacturer. I mean, where somebody just stuck a pin, was just sticking a pin through it. But I don't know why you would do that to such a beautiful book. And it really is. And I remember when I first saw the cover of this and you find out Wolverine dies, I was like, doom. So, next up is 143, And I want to say this is a solo mission of Kitty Pryde. It's a nice cover. It's not a key, nothing special, but it's just part of the collection. And for all you Man-Things fans out there, issue 144. I haven't read this one yet. I hate to say it, but I haven't had a chance to. Well, I'm not going to say I haven't had a chance to. I just haven't read it for whatever the reason was. But I do plan on reading this entire run once I pick up 40. And I wanted to talk about, so you had 142 and 141, so the Days of Future Past. Now, if they were to do something like this in current time, which they have, they usually stretch that out for like 4, 5, 6 issues, crossovers. But back then, Claremont didn't think of it that big of a deal. It's like, I'll just send him back to the future. I'll just send him into the future and have some people come back and we'll mess around with the timeline and we'll wrap it up in 2 issues. And the reason why I bring this up, because that storyline right there was so good that it had a nice ripple effect. Where you hear, if you throw a stone in the pond, the ripples effect goes. It's the same thing with that storyline. It's like that storyline really helped set up the universe that they didn't know about future time traveling, in my opinion at least. But, so you have a great story right there, and this is where I'm getting to the point. Then we go into 145. 145 is the start of the X Men facing Doctor Doom. And Doctor Doom is facing them because him and, I think his name is Arcadia, he insults Doctor Doom, and Arcade sends a message to the X Men that he's been kidnapped, so they go to rescue him for whatever reason. And it's really just a contest. So while they're being captured, and here's 146. So while they're being captured, they're getting out of these traps, and they also touch up on Havoc and Polaris and Iceman and where they're at while the team is being kidnapped by Doctor Doom. Then it concludes here in a 3-issue where you have Storm. Let's see if I can get some of that glare out right there. I really need to replace these bags and boards, which is something you should be doing every 5 to 10 years. Minimum, at least 5 years. So, the X-Men escape, and Storm just loses it, and all this power erupts from her and Doctor Doom, and they're able to, in the end, make a peace with Doctor Doom because he's taken a fancy to Storm. And so they leave it as, we're not friends, we're not foes, but, the ball's in your court. So I just thought it was funny that they would take a story like this and stretch it out to 2 or 3, which is an okay story, don't get me wrong, but not to take the opportunity of stretching out a story like this to at least 3, maybe even 4 issues. To look into the future and seeing all these characters and having a chance to just do whatever you want, but just to make it like a 2-issue, that just blew my mind as I thought about it later on down the road as I was looking at, the comic book issues and stories. Here's 148. Not a key issue, but if you're collecting a run, a key to issue to have. So, Dazzler and Spider-Woman. And the last issue is 149, another book I haven't read. It was just something I collected, and the cover didn't look that impressive to me, and I only paid like $4.50. A lot of these books I paid under $5 from, that weren't key books. So my goal, like I said, is to collect 100 to 200 and then 2 to 3, because there were a lot of good keys from 2 to 3. Where you had like the Mutant Massacre, first appearance of Sinister, first appearance of Gambit, maybe a couple other little things, but so I'm trying not to say so as much. Sorry about that. Well, that will do it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you do, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And I will catch you later.